Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. So today we are going to discuss about the genetics. Like we'll see what exactly is chromosome, a gene, and a allele. Okay. And before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So one second, let me just check. Yeah. Okay, so join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. Okay, and the Telegram channel of Unacademy, ICSE and ISC boards. So this link you can find in the description. Hi Shrija, good evening. So this you can find in the description box. Okay, so go to the description box and click on the link to join the channel. All right, so let's see this is special classes which are conducted on Unacademy platform. Okay, so these are absolutely free and we call them as special classes. So you can learn from your favorite educator for free, engage with educators via poll. Okay, clear your doubts in the live special class. Like basically there is a separate question tab where you can attach an image. So you have an option to attach an image. Also you can type in your question and send it to the educator during a live session, and they'll be clearing your doubts since they'll be getting a notification. We can also conduct a quiz. So with that basically you can know your rank and you can compete with your friends as well. So Unacademy subscription feature, you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Okay, unlimited access to all the courses will be there. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. Then there is regular doubt clearing session. So after about every 3 sessions, the fourth session will be your doubt clearing session. So any doubt you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can cover your doubt in this particular session. So that is the doubt clearing session. Okay, then complete syllabus will be covered, mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, the practice test, live test series. So you will have access to all of this along with the batches. Okay, so now depending on your preference you can either go for English batch or a English batch. So you will have access to all the batches once you take the subscription. So this is completely your choice to go with the what batch you want this. Okay, and there is daily practice section, weekly mock test series, live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series will also be conducted. Okay, and for class 10, so this is with respect to class 10, so Unacademy plus subscription pricing. So since this is the very beginning, so you can go with the 12 months of subscription. Okay, or if you just want to try like how exactly this works, so you can go with 3 months of subscription as well. So for 12 months this is basically around 15k, but when you apply a code Vani YT, so you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription, so that will get somewhere reduced around to 13.5k. So you can go for this and PCMB will be covered. So you have read this chapter. Okay, so that's nice. So it's like most of the schools have started the syllabus already. So some of them have already started with the circulatory system also. So let's see anyway. Okay. All right, so yeah, I'll just continue with, so there is an offer right now. Okay, so there is an offer that is going on, that is about if you are going for 12 months, so you will be getting extra 1 month free, so that means 13 months of subscription. So if you are going for 12 months, and on top, so there is this code which you can apply to avail this offer as well. So you will get both of these offers with the subscription. Okay, so let's see this introduction. So that is inheritance. So how exactly are we? One second. Okay, so let's see this one. Inheritance is basically passing of character. Okay, so what exactly is being passed? So whenever there is a fertilization process that occurs. Okay, so this is with respect to fertilization process. Okay, the product formed is what? The product is a zygote. Okay, so zygote is the product. So what exactly does the zygote have? So let's have a look at the zygote now. Okay, just a second. So now this is a ovum. So there is a ovum, or we can just write it as an egg. So egg is having its own nucleus. Okay, so in this nucleus you can find 23 chromosomes. Okay, so you can find what? So in this nucleus you can find 23 chromosome. Now when the sperm comes and penetrates this one, so let's say the sperm is going to penetrate this one having its own nucleus. Okay, so that means the nucleus will be sent inside. So it is not that the whole sperm is getting inside, so it is only the nucleus will be spent here. Okay, I mean sent here. So now this male nucleus is also having a 23 chromosome. So in case of zygote, so now we do not call this as an egg anymore. So why we cannot call it as an egg anymore? Because it is not just the female nuclei. So with that you can also find there is a male nuclei. So that means this is now a zygote. Okay, so now zygote is having the female nucleus. So let me just write this one. So this is the nucleus from the egg, and this one is the nucleus from the sperm. So that is a male nucleus. So now each one of them are having 23 chromosome. So normal number in case of a human, so that is normal chromosome number of a human is what? 46. So 46 number is maintained. So that is in a zygote. Okay, so this zygote is going to undergo mitotic division. Okay, so that is mitosis. So under the mitotic division, so once the embryo formation occurs, so all the cells in that embryo are going to have 46 chromosome. How exactly this is possible? Because now one cell, that is zygote, had 46 chromosome. Okay, so that means two sets of chromosomes were there. Okay, so two sets of chromosome. One set is coming from where? One set is coming from a mother, one set is coming from a father. So that is 23 plus 23. So total of 46 chromosome we have, which is a 2n. Now when the mitosis occurs here in this, so all the cells which are going to be there, so this is going to divide mitotically. So embryo formation, so after the mitosis the embryo formation occurs. So in that all the cells are going to have a 46 chromosome. Okay, so this is what about the genetics when we mention. So we are getting features from a parent, that is we are getting certain features from mother, we are getting certain features from father. So that is mainly because of this female nucleus having 23 chromosome, and that is being combined with the male nucleus from the sperm, so where this is also having a 23 chromosome. So based on that we can say that the 46 chromosome number is maintained, so that an individual is basically going to have a 46 chromosome. So let's see this part. So inheritance is basically passing of character. So what character is being passed? So it is any physical appearance, or any appearance that we are talking about. So that is a phenotype. So now inheritance is basically passing of character. So that is from whom to whom? So this is from parent to the progeny. So who is getting the progeny? Like who is getting the features? So features are obtained from the mother, the features are obtained from the father. Okay, so in both of these cases, so both mother as well as the father, so they are sending each set of their chromosome, and that's the reason the particular zygote is going to have a 2n. Okay, so that is from one generation to the next. Okay, so this is from one generation to the next. Okay, now the process is called as a heredity, and inheritance is studied by the branch of genetics. So what exactly is this one? Now you know you are getting certain features from your parents, right? So in that case, let's see this. I'll just erase this part. Okay, so here you know, let's just erase this part now. So how exactly are we getting certain features from our parents? So this is basically based on, you know, the characteristics. So that is there in the nucleus. So 23 chromosomes are here, which are responsible for whatever features that we are getting. So that is from there. So now you know this we are getting through the zygote. So this is the zygote is there. So zygote will divide. So this will form a morula stage. Okay, then this will form a blastula stage or a blastocyst stage, and only after that the embryo formation we can see. So embryo formation, then you know it will go on developing, so infant, toddler, so different names we call. So then there is a baby which will be delivered out. Okay, so now based on that, you know, the process is basically a heredity, or you know, it is basically whatever features that we have, so that we have obtained from our parents itself. So though the progeny has many characteristics, so you can find many variations of the species. So it's not that you know everything looks same. Okay, so if you just an example I'm giving. So if you go to foreign countries and all, so you see that all the homes look similar, like you know, every area. So here also, now in India also they have started building. So we cannot use the term identical for that, like you know, a progeny is developed to, like you know, the parents have produced a progeny. Okay, so this progeny is not identical. Okay, so this is not identical, so this is actually similar. So we can use the term similar there, but not identical. Okay, so in that case, whatever the similarity that we find, so that we are obtaining through our parents itself. So that is from the mother, so that is from the father as well. So we can use the term similarity. Okay, so there is a slight variation. So what is that variation? So there are slight differences you can find. So how exactly are you different from your mother? How exactly are you different from your father? So you are actually a combination of your father, you are actually a combination of your mother. Okay, so father and mother combination itself is making you different, so that we can say it is a variation. So you are not exactly identical, but you are similar, and that slighter difference what we find, so that we call as a variation. So this is about the chromosomal pattern which is being affected, like you know, how exactly this is going to express. So let's see now the genes. Okay, so now genes, when we mention, so genes are carried within the chromosomes. Okay, so genes are going to be carried within the chromosomes, that means which are in the cell nucleus. So these are basically in the cell nucleus itself. One second. Just a second. Yeah, so I'll explain it to you here. Okay, so now this is a cell. Okay, so this one is a cell now. Okay, so in this cell, what do you see? Inside this cell you find a nucleus. So there is a nucleus that you can find. Okay, and inside this nucleus, what do you see? So there is basically a chromosome. So we will take two pairs of chromosome. So example, we will take two pairs of chromosome, just for your understanding. Okay, so you can find two pairs of chromosomes there. Okay, so in that case you can see that the chromosomes are arranged in a homologous pair. Okay, So that means they are arranged based on their similarity, or they are having the same size as well as the shape. So there is one more set of chromosome which somewhat looks as such. Okay, so this somewhat looks as such. So now as compared to this one, so this is somewhat taller and this is somewhat shorter. Okay, so you can find two pairs of chromosome in that. So inside the nucleus you can find a chromosome. So chromatin fiber which was there earlier. Okay, so chromatin fiber has condensed. Okay, so this has condensed to form a chromosome. Okay, so this is to form what? This is to form a chromosome. Okay, so now with respect to that, let's see this part. So genes are carried within the chromosome. So you can see that the genes are there within the chromosome which are in the cell nucleus. So that you can find in a cell nucleus. So genes are segments of a DNA. So you can find a tiny segments of a DNA, and there are thousands of genes in each chromosome. So here each chromosome can have thousands of genes. It need not be only one gene always. So you can see that thousands of genes can also be there. Okay, so segment of a DNA, and there are thousands of gene in each chromosome. So there are 23 pairs. Okay, so there are basically 23 pairs. So that is 46 chromosome in a human cell. So now based on this itself, so now you can find, let's say there is only one chromosome that might be present. So this is one chromosome. So in this chromosome you can find a gene here, you can find a gene here, you can find a gene here, or here, anywhere. So like the gene can be there, and these genes are the ones which are going to give you a particular expression. Like now you might be having a brown eye, or maybe you might be having a straight hair, or maybe the nose is straight. Okay, so in any of these cases, so genes are the ones which are taking a responsibility of a particular function, like function of the body, so that a perfect, or it will try its best to produce a good quality organ, or maybe a good quality appearance, we can say. But whenever there are certain changes, even the like normal treatments won't work. So medicines can be taken just for the control. So cure can be the gene therapy. So one can go with the gene therapy as well. Okay, but this gene therapy, when we mention, so this is a costly process. Okay, so and for all of this, basically there is no much of we can say that the development has anyway occurred, but we can say that this is costlier, so people won't go for this much. Okay, so genes are segments of a DNA, and there are thousands of genes in each chromosome. So like this, we have 23 pairs. So here I have shown only one pair. This is second pair. So as such, you can find 23 pairs of a gene. Okay, I mean chromosome. Now genes are the units of inheritance. Okay, so what is it? What is the meaning of this one? Anybody? Any idea? Just a second. Any idea? Why do we say that the genes are the units of inheritance? So because as the chromosomes are passed, okay, as the chromosomes are passed from one generation to the next one, okay, so as there is a chromosomes that is being passed from one generation to other generation, so in that the chromosome is basically what? It is made of a chromatin fiber itself. So this is made of a chromatin fiber, and this one, when we mention, so many of the nucleosomes together are going to form a nucleosome. Okay, then basically it is a DNA. So in this case you can find DNA and histone. So DNA and histone protein will be there. So this is the DNA and protein, we can just write it. Okay, so now based on that, genes are there. So in DNA, so there is a DNA. So in that DNA, so let's say this is a DNA now. So let me just write this. So this one is now a DNA. Okay, so with this DNA, okay, so this is a double stranded DNA structure. Okay, so this one is double stranded DNA. And let's say here is this sequence which you can find. So we will just write a particular sequence here maybe. Okay, so this is the sequence that you can find. So now based on the sequence that you can see here, just a second. Okay, so now based on the sequence that you can find here, so that we can call as a complementary sequences. So now there is a sequence called, so let me just write it randomly. So A T G C T T, so this is T. Okay, okay, so now the sequence given is A T G C T T. Okay, so there is T T A T. So this is the sequence given. So you need to find the complementary sequence. Anybody has any idea which one is a complementary sequence for this above one? Okay, so this one. Okay, so what is this complementary sequence? Any of you have any idea? Am I audible? Let me just check once. Yeah, so complementary sequence. So now this is actually the gene. Okay, so this is the gene which is responsible. So this is a gene now. Okay, so this part what you see, so this part we will say that this is a gene which is responsible. So which is responsible for what? So that is responsible for RNA synthesis. Then the protein synthesis will occur, so that the normal functioning of a body can be seen. So in that case a specific sequence of DNA will be there. So from this strand of a DNA, so this is basically a DNA strand itself, so there is a formation of RNA you can find. So this is now a DNA, and then there is RNA formation. So basically this one A is there, so there is T, then A, then G is there, so this is C, G. Okay, then again that you can find AATA. Okay, so this is the condition. So this one is the complementary sequence that you can find. Okay, so now based on that you will see different structures. So now here the gene coding for a contrasting trait is called as a allele. So let's see this part. Okay, so let me just write. So there is a gene. Okay, so this is now a gene. Okay, which is responsible for the character height expression. Okay, so character is what? The character is basically height. Okay, for this gene. Now you can find two types of that. Okay, so this is directly with respect to gene, with respect to allele. So alternative form. So now the definition itself says, and let me just erase this part. Yeah, so now alternative forms of a gene. Okay, so alternative forms of a gene are called as allele. Okay, so this is of genes is called allele. Okay, so this can be called as a allele. So now same way alternative form or alternative form of a character. So same way now gene is there, allele is there. So this is the allele now. Alright, which is actually taking care of like expression that has to occur. So now this gene is specific for coding of a particular character. So let's say what is that character now. So there is a tall character and then there is a short character. Okay, so these are the traits of a character. Okay, so now this one is basically a trait. So the other one is also a trait. So depending on which is going to express itself, so we can see that result in an individual. So now if an individual is expressing himself tall, I mean if he is seen as a tall, so in him the tall allele is expressing itself. Okay, so allele for the tall is expressing itself, allele for the short one is not expressed. So here, okay, so allele for the short one is not expressed, allele for the tall one is expressed, which we can represent it as such. Okay, so this is for a short and this is for a tall. Okay, so any doubt till here, any of you? No doubt. Okay, so now gene code for the contrasting trait, so that we call as a allele. Okay, now among these allele, the one which is expressing, so this I have said in the last class also, the one which is expressing, so here in this case this is going to express itself. Okay, so let's say this will express itself. Yeah. So since this is going to express itself, so we call this as a dominant one. Okay, so this one is a dominant, whereas the other one, so this part, so this is actually not expressive because this is recessive, so that is in the presence of a tall allele, so this is not going to express, so this does not express. Okay, so this does not express itself, so that is the activity of this is being suppressed. Okay, so the activity of this one is being suppressed, so that is a recessive one. So now in homozygous plants the alleles are TT. So let's see this one now. So I'll just explain it to you here. So there are different terms. Okay, so there is homozygous term that you will come across. So there is homozygous. Okay, then there is heterozygous. Okay, so this is about the heterozygous. Okay, so homozygous you can find, heterozygous. Then what exactly is homozygous, what exactly is heterozygous? Any idea, any of you? What is homozygous, what is heterozygous? No idea? Okay, so homozygous and heterozygous when we mention, so let's say two alleles are there. Okay, so two of the alleles are, both of them are dominant. So what we say, the dominant is always expressed in a capital letter. Okay, and the recessive one is always expressed in a small letter. So this is the one. So now the character is tall. So now how are we going to write the homozygous or a heterozygous? So now when we mention that a particular plant or a human is homozygous, so in that case, so this is with respect to plant now, so we will take this is the case. Okay, so TT will represent that it is a homozygous tall. So now this TT will represent that this individual is homozygous dwarf. Okay, so now what is heterozygous? So heterozygous when we mention, so they are not the same. So this is the one. So let's see this. So this is the one. Okay, so this is not similar, so they are different. So here this was same, this was same, this was same, this was same, and here in this case one is capital, the other one is small. So that means one is dominant allele, okay, and the other one is recessive allele. So this one is recessive allele. So based on that we can see this is now a heterozygous. Okay, so this is a heterozygous. So since there is a dominant allele that is present, so this is going to dominate, the T is going to dominate, the other one will remain suppressed. Okay, so this is about the how exactly the genes and alleles are having a role. So wait a second. Okay, so now model called the visible character phenotype and genetic makeup is called the phenotype. So basically Mendel, who's them, so he called it as the whatever physical appearance is there. So let me just erase this part. Okay, so Mendel, when we mention, so Mendel said that, just a second. Okay, so Mendel, he did not knew the term as gene. So instead of gene, he used to call this gene as a factor. Okay, so he used to call it as a factor. So now in class 10 only you are studying about the Mendel's laws of inheritance. But for class 12, this is there. So this is going to get easier for you all. Okay, so there is a Mendel's law, so which says basically about the law of purity of gametes, law of segregation, law of dominantism. Okay, dominance. So in all these cases, let's see which is she'll be understanding. One second. Yeah. So now based on that, so there is a Mendel's law. All right. So now this is with respect to the genes or the factor. Like earlier when Mendel gave the theory about the law of dominance, or the law of purity of gametes, or law of independent assortment. So in all these cases, so basically the three laws which he said, so he did not use the term as gene, so instead he used the term as a factor. And in that he said that one of the allele is going to be dominant, the other one is going to be recessive. Okay, and he also used the terms like phenotype, genotype. So what exactly is phenotype, or what exactly is genotype is it? So here in this case, phenotype is basically a physical expression, like how exactly this appears when it is applied. So now this is a visible character we call as a phenotype. The genetic makeup is called as a genotype. Okay, so this is now a genetic makeup. So this is a genetic makeup. Okay, and phenotype, when we mention, so this is a genotype, genetic makeup. Phenotype is basically a the we, or we can say, physical appearance or visible character. So it's better for your understanding, so we can go with the visible character. Okay, so this is for a visible character, we can say. All right, so now we can say based on these things itself, so how exactly the gene arrangement is done, so which is going to express itself, whether this is going to get suppressed. So based on that, we will have certain features which we will be studying. So let's see this. So homozygous dominant. So what is that homozygous dominant? So now so TT pair is there. Okay, so we will see some Punnett square here. Okay, so let's say the plant is there. Okay, so this plant, so we are taking one tall plant. Okay, and we are taking one dwarf plant. So this is one is basically a tall plant. Okay, and this one is a short plant. Okay, so this is a dwarf plant. So in that case, if we put up a net square, so there is a possibility that we would get the homozygous dominant. Okay, so this is now homozygous. So let me just write it. Yeah, so this one is homozygous dominant. Okay, so this is homozygous dominant. The other one here in this case, so it is basically homozygous. This is recessive. Okay, so this is recessive. So same way now, now when we take a plant, so we will get, so when we do the Punnett square, so we have put a Punnett square for this. Okay, so now when we cross them, so we are taking a tall plant, we are taking a short plant. Now when we cross, so all the plants that we get are going to be this one. Okay, so now you need to say whether this one is tall or whether this is short. Any of you has any idea? Have any idea? So whether this is tall or whether this is homozygous or heterozygous. So now all the plants, like 100% progeny that is produced. Okay, so all of them are basically the heterozygous tall. They are heterozygous dominant, or we can say heterozygous tall they are. Okay, so all the plants are heterozygous tall. So how can we say that all the plant are going to be tall? Because one of the gene, one of the allele is dominant, the other one is recessive. So whenever a dominant allele is there, okay, so that is the one which is going to express itself. Recessive one will not be able to express itself. So the action of this allele will be cut down, and the dominant allele is the one which will be expressing, and that is the reason. So since this is not going to express itself, so here also it is not going to express, here also it is not going to express, so it is also not expressing. So all of the plants which are produced, so since there is one small and one the long you can find, or maybe we can say tall. So one is tall, one is dwarf. So based on that we can say that it is a heterozygous, not homozygous, but this is different, right? So it is a heterozygous tall. So why we are saying tall? Because all the plants appear to be taller itself once they are grown. So that is why it is a heterozygous tall. So we can do one more case study based on this. So let's see this. So there is a plant, okay. We can take one heterozygous tall, we can take, okay. So one we will take heterozygous tall, and the other one, so I'll just write it here. So this is heterozygous tall is crossed with the homozygous dwarf. Okay, so we will see this now. This is homozygous dwarf. So condition is that, so this is going to be dwarf. All right, so now when we make a cross, so this is with respect to plant again. So now when we make a cross, so let's just write it here as such. Okay, so this can be done, and you can put a Punnett square as such. So here this is going to be tall, so this one is tall. So this is going to be dwarf. Okay, so this is dwarf, and here this is going to be tall, and this one is dwarf. Okay, so you can clearly find that 50% is the tall. Okay, so 50% is tall, and remaining 50% are dwarf. Okay, so this one is dwarf. So now this is based on the characters that can be seen here. Okay, so there is a variation that you can find with respect to this cell. Okay, so now what is the variation? So now we know this is all, so all of them, like two of them you can find homozygous, okay, and two of them you can find heterozygous. So this is now a homozygous and this is a heterozygous. So since this is going to express itself, so this is the plant is going to be tall, and here both the genes are for short gene. Okay, so that means they'll be expressing in themselves, and based on that the individual is going to be dwarf. Okay, so that is a short one. So now this is completely depending on the game, like the game of alleles we can say. So in that case basically TT is them, or the heterozygous TT, so that will be expressing itself as a tall because of the recessive gene. Alright, so genotype, phenotype is done. So let's see some of the questions then. So first geneticist or father of genetics was, any idea about this? Any of you? No idea? Okay, so first geneticist or father of genetics is basically Mendel. Okay, so let's have a look at this. An individual with identical alleles is, so hybrid, dominant, homozygous, heterozygous. So this is individual with the identical allele is us. So where can you find the identical allele? So that is in a homozygous condition. So homozygous condition can be TT or TT. The heterozygous condition can be this one, so TT. Okay, so this is a heterozygous condition. So now, and okay, so what is the question? So this is done, right? Okay, so the allele which is unable to express its effect in the presence of another, so this is unable to express itself in the presence of another, so that is a recessive allele. Okay, an organism with two unlike genes of a trait. Okay, so two unlike genes of a trait when we mention, so whether it is a homozygous or heterozygous, both of these, none of these, so organism with two unlike genes, okay, that is of a trait, is called a heterozygous. Okay, because this is not the same. So homozygous means this will be same. Okay, so this is same. Here you can see that, so one is different, the other one is different. So the organism which with two unlike genes are there, so that we call as this one. So you can see that the parents are rollers. Okay, so both the parents are rollers. So this is now a roller, so mother is roller, the father is roller. So now the square will represent that. So this is basically, the square represents here for a male. Okay, so if we just show it like this, yeah, so this will see this is male. Okay, if we just show it like this, so this will indicate that this is female. Okay, so this is a non-roller, so this is roller and this is roller. So in that case, what has happened? So let's see this. So you can take a different case studies with this also. Okay, so in that, one is roller, the other one is non-roller. So this is daughter, this is daughter, because they are of female. So in that case, that is a daughter, and here in this case it is a male, so we are representing it with a cube, or we can say square. Okay, so this indication you need to know here. All right, so you can see this is a roller parent, homozygous tongue roller, and then there is heterozygous tongue roller. So this is homozygous and heterozygous tongue roller. So let's see this part. I'll explain it here. Okay, so now when we mention a homozygous, so this is RR and the other one is RR. So in that case, the child who was produced, so this is RR, this is RR. Okay, and here RR, this also you can find RR. So that means this is gonna be tall itself, but this can be carrier here. Okay, so I mean, this is with respect to rolling, so we can say this is gonna be rolling, the tongue rolling capacity is there. Okay, so tongue rolling capacity is there, and here also in this, just a second. Yeah, so tongue rolling capacity is there. So for this, but only when you find this type, so this is a non-roller. Here anyway roller, but since the child might be carrying one recessive allele, so this can carry this allele to the next generation, and there is a chance that so alleles can, the recessive alleles can combine, and this can be non-roller also. So alleles are true breeding homozygotes, different molecular forms of a gene. Heterozygotes, different phenotype. So this is, different molecular forms of a gene. Okay, so before I end this session, so let me just see about certain features of Unacademy. 1 second. Yeah. So we conduct free classes. Okay, so that is class 10 ICSE Premier League IPL. So series of free sessions to cover important topics and questions with Unacademy Top Educator. So date, it started on 6th of May and it is still 31st May. The physics, like PCMB will be covered, so physics are covered twice, so you can take up these sessions. And then there is gladiators batch, which is actually all subject batch. Okay, and this already started on May 4th, but you can watch the recordings. Okay, so there is an option to watch a recording, and you can go with the live sessions which are yet to happen. So in that case, if you are planning to take the subscription, you can use the code VANIYT. Okay, so this is the code to get 10% discount. All right, so now subscribe for ICSE class 10. You will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription also free along with this. Okay, so Titans batch, so this is again a all subject batch itself for ICSE class 10. So start date is May 11th. Okay, so mode of delivery here is English. So again all these subjects are being covered. So if you are subscribing for class 10, you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free. So never miss on any update from your favorite educator. So get session notes and practice material. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. So check out the link to the educator community below. So Bucks Bounty, so opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. So be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. So now you can download the Unacademy Learner app, open the app and click on get started. Then you can enter your mobile number and OTP, sign up using your email ID. So once you do that, you can select the class 6 to 12, select your class, then you can select your preferred language. Go to the description of this particular video and you will find a special class link. Click on that and then click on notify me once you go to that site, so that you will get notified about the classes 10 minutes before the class begins. Okay, then you can use my code VANIYT. Okay, so with this referral code you can unlock many of the free products that are there on Unacademy. Also with that, so you can also use VANIYT to get 10% discount on the subscription. Okay, so thank you all. Any doubt you have, you can join my Telegram channel, that is Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. Okay, so click on bell icon to get notified about the session. So subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Like and share the video and download the app now, that is Unacademy Learner app. So this PDF if you need, so you can just ping me there, so I'll be sending, like on Telegram, so I'll be sending these notes on the Telegram. Okay, all right then, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone, thank you so much.